Hey man, what it is? This is Dean, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $5, $10, $1,000. It's much appreciated. Everybody who show love. Want to talk about Charleston White, y'all. This guy is just a terrible person, a different type of human being. And the thing that I can't stand is these fake activists that 1 minute they for the community, the next minute they not. 1 minute you talking about the rappers, and I think I told y'all this in another video before. You talking about the rappers, but in the next minute you doing everything that the rappers do, if not worse. Now I know y'all probably been online and seen Charleston White, disrespect Gilly and Wallow and talk about how they have to go to the graveyard to see their dead son and dead nephew, making jokes of the fact that y'all know that she's passed away. And me being from Philly, man, that ain't wasn't no cool thing. Cheese wasn't a guy, a troublemaker. Cheese wasn't a guy that was really into too much like that because, like I said, Gilly was his dad, so he didn't have needs to just have all this drama with people and things of that nature. And for you to sit up there and make fun and talk about, I'm going to call my son right now because you can't call your son. You got to go to the graveyard to talk to your son. It's just horrendous. First of all, and the reason why I hold Charleston even higher than the rappers, because Charleston is fairly intelligent. He knows better than this. He understands that you shouldn't be dissing the dead. Every God-fearing person that even claim that they want to be for black people, for I know, like I said, Yo Gotti got had a real op in Young Dolph. You don't hear Yo Gotti speak bad on Young Dolph, the fact that he passed away. You don't hear that because real gangsters don't do that. Real G's don't do that. We don't speak in those terms. Y'all, it's people out here I've had problems with. And if some stuff has happened to them, some stuff hasn't. But I would never speak ill will of them and they not here no more. Especially not on camera, especially so they family and friends and everybody else could see it. They already probably feel some type of way. And the fact is that now, Charleston, you have put a big target on your family's back, my guy. You ain't got more reach than Gilly and Wallow. You think people don't care about Gilly as whatever you think about them, it means nothing. At the end of the day, they can find out where you be and all of those things. Money talks, my guy. They got a lot of great relationships with a lot of people and a lot of people in your state. So not only is you a terrible person, but you're a terrible father. Because now you done marked your children. Now it's people out here that may want to harm your children just to make an example out of you. You don't talk about a father losing his son, losing his child like that. You don't speak of the dead like that. You can't talk about you're an activist and you're for the community and the betterment of the people. But then you're doing even worse what the rappers did. If any rapper did that, we would be on them talking about how crazy it is. It'd be trending the whole nine. But we got 50-some-year-old men sitting up here doing it, and that's okay. This is the problem. These are our fathers. These are the young guys' fathers acting like this. And then y'all wonder why these young dudes out here, they lost. They don't have nothing to look forward to in life. They don't have a role model. Because somebody like Charleston White supposed to be trying to be that, to show you how you can get it from out the mud and just use your personality and your voice to make something of yourself. And then he gonna sit up there and talk about, well, I play a character. That's not really, man, ain't nobody trying to hear none of that, bro. You can fool somebody who you listen, man. People ain't trying to hear that you playing a character thing. No, when you talking dead and making fun of the dead, that is not a character. That is you. And if it is, then you're gonna get held responsible for that. What type of father put that type of target on his family back, on his wife's back? You're not loyal to your wife under any circumstances. The woman that was holding you down when you had long, dirty braids, you treat her like however. You already told everybody how you lived off your mama for years before you even made it. You ain't no man, dog. I take care of my mother. I take care of my children. I would never sit up there and talk about another man's daughter. Now she passed away. Me knowing that I got 3 daughters myself. I would never talk about my worst enemy's child if they passed away. You and Wallow and Gilly ain't enemies. You're despicable. You're a disgrace. And these the guys that go viral. These the guys that people listen to. These the guys that people put money behind. 1 minute Charleston, he's conscious and for the community and the betterment of people. The next minute you'll hear him in a community in an interview talking about F the community. I'm getting money. I ain't worried about the community. Contradictory at its finest. I'll take the young guys out here who talking about smoking dead ops because at least I know they don't know any better. At least I understand that they are on the side of wherever they at. At least I understand that they realize that there are certain consequences to what they are doing and they don't care. You want to play a character, but you don't want what comes with that. So, Charleston, if something bad happens to your family or to your children, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Do not expect sympathy. Do not expect understanding from people. Because you weren't understanding. You weren't sympathetic. And this is not the first time you've done that to Gillie. You and Hassan Campbell do the same things. Now, if somebody makes an example out of y'all children, now y'all didn't put a target on y'all children's back, your family back, because you want to run your mouth. You ain't never met Cheese. Why would you speak on that yet? Forget it. Forget not liking his daddy. Why? You don't know that young man. And talking about because Gillie called him a snitch. You admitted you're a snitch. How are you mad at Gillie for sitting up there saying that you are a snitch and people should leave you alone because you will tell the police when you go on every platform admitting that you a snitch and will tell the police? How did that offend you? These guys ain't men. These the guys y'all like. These the people y'all listen to, y'all follow. They ain't men out here, man. It ain't no more real men out here. It ain't no more real men out here. It's crazy to me, man. This is an embarrassment. Forget just Gillie and Wallow. I'm talking about us as a community. The fact that there's 50-some-odd-year-old men that act like Charleston White and Benzino. Huh? You got J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick beefing now. For what? For what? All for $1, a green piece of paper, when they all know where that leads to. Look at Diddy. No Diddy. There's no... People will do anything for popularity, for money, for likes. If you did feel like that about Gillie and Wallow, you don't say that publicly, especially about his child. And then Charleston White will sit up there and say that he's blackballed. Look at the stuff you say. You're really a live wire. You're not stable mentally as a man. The fact that you can laugh at another young black man being dead in the street, my worst enemy, I wouldn't laugh at him being dead. I wouldn't even want to talk about it. And there's been situations where I won't talk about. My worst enemy, if his child passed away, I wouldn't sit up there and make fun of that. That wouldn't be funny to me. But these would be guys that say that they have a better moral compass than somebody like me. You could never. You used your mother until you was in your late 30s as a grown man to get ahead and did it and just buying your mom a car. You in your 50s. You ain't bought her no house. You ain't set her up with no bank account. You just buying your mom a car. Crazy to me, man. This is the stuff that goes on in our world. Us as black men, man. That's why I'm about to just start changing my content because, listen, man, I got real stuff to talk about. I'll leave everything else to everybody else. But I got real things to talk about. And it's stuff like this that is a true embarrassment to us as a people and to our culture. You want to speak on a dead ill, a young man that you have never met, a young man whose life was taken. Probably they wasn't even going for him. They probably was looking for his homies that he was with, and he fell victim to it. And that's just how things go. Gillie said he ain't had no beef and stuff like none of that stuff out here. You want to talk about that? You were making fun of they pain. You're laughing at they pain, like Kevin Hart would say. Ain't nothing funny about that. Y'all just find it so funny to tell people to go pick their dead homie up or pick like that is evil. That is the devil. That is demonic. That is against forget Gillie, Charleston White. The man upstairs would never forgive you for making fun of his child like that. You acting like you can't get shot dead in the street like a dog. Like the same thing that happened to Cheese can't happen to you. And the internet and money and power has made people think that they are invincible, but they won't learn the lessons of everybody that came before them. None of y'all was more ruthless and more ruthless than Griselda Blanco. Somebody got to her eventually, didn't they? Charleston, you gonna get yours one day, and you ain't gonna. And it's sad the fact that I know that you're going to get yours one day, and that's sad. Speaking on people like that, man, it's just egregious, man. But these are guys that talk about they activists. These the guys. This the guy that y'all had in Texas speaking to the children. When he admitted that he don't care nothing about your children, when he admitted that if your child die and he don't like you, he will sit up there and spit and talk crazy about your dead child. This is how far we have came as a people. This is how disrespectful we have came. You know, back in ancient times, people that had war, the guys who won the war would ship the bodies back to that land or wherever the people was so they could give them a proper burial because they respected warriors. It's amazing to me, us as a black people, how we could speak ill will with the dead, but we want everybody to feel sympathetic towards all the things that we have gone through in our life. So I guess, Charleston, what has happened to the babies in slavery, that was funny too, because Cheese is a black man just as much as they was back then. But that wouldn't be funny, right? The stuff that happened to us back in the day as slaves wasn't funny, but this is. The slave masters laughed at us dying too. Y'all know what this is, man. Get your life together. Look, really follow behind real people. Charleston White interviews go viral. Somebody like me that speak real won't never go viral. It'll never go viral because it's not a message they want to hear. It's only people like that act the buffoon, that act the fool, that's going to make it somewhere. And real people, when you stay 10 toes down and you say no to P. Diddy, then you see what's going to happen. Y'all know what this is, man. Dean, by any means. And I'll holler at y'all.